For Cuban Americans, memories of the homeland evoke powerful emotions. As Cuba goes through a never-before-seen transition, many are returning back to the home they were once forced to leave behind. Among them is documentary filmmaker Arlene Milian, who left Cuba when she was 2 years old on the historic Freedom Flight. Now, 45 years later, she's embarked on a faithful journey to reconnect.
The title of your documentary, A Refugee's Heart, why did you choose that title?
Because I'm a refugee and my heart broken into 1,000 pieces. My trip was about mending my heart. I was born in La Habana. That's how we say Havana in Spanish. Cubans.
What does Cuba represent for you?
It's where my story starts. I had to go back in order for me to start my new story. I've had this narrative of the story of the voyage since I was 5 years old, that I started, really asking the questions. Where are we from? Why are we here? Where's my daddy? This was my first birthday. This is the one picture that I have with my father. I always fantasize about what my daddy looked like. The last time I saw him, I was 2 years old. This was my second birthday. My father's not in the picture. So my life took a turn. And then now I go back and I'm getting different perspectives. The family was split politically, and there was a meeting. The question was asked, who wants to go and who wants to stay? And so 15 family members came to the US, which included me, my mom, my tia Silvia, and my abuela Mima, who's my mother's mom. We lived in Miami, then we moved to Echo Park, California. In the 70s, being raised in Echo Park, there wasn't the diversity of Hispanic cultures like there is now. And I wasn't Mexican, I wasn't African American. I was like this fish out of water. I really identify with a refugee. My heart leads Cuba.
You had on your heart this vision and this dream to go back. Why did you want to go back?
To get a lot of questions answered about why my father didn't come. Why didn't he call me? See where I was born. Meet these amazing, beautiful relatives. Annabelle, it was as if no time passed.
So you have all these questions about your dad. Did you ever get the chance or try to see him again?
Just as I was starting to get all the paperwork together, and he passed away.
Did you find out why he didn't make the trip?
There was a letter that he wrote my mom in 1971.
Que si tú te hubieras quedado en Cuba, nosotros no hubiéramos vivido como pobres.
And that letter was recently given to me, and I had his sister, my tía Juanita, read me the letter.
Hace días soñé con ustedes, los tenía a mi lado.
When I heard his version through this letter, I realized that the story that I had was not the story. I never knew that my father wanted to come and be with us. That's when everything changed for me on that trip.
Do you think that conversation and going to Cuba and sharing the story was fate for you? Was part of your fate?
Absolutely. This was not in my plan. I did not go to film school. My goal was to share my story in hopes to help others heal. Every time I doubted, my faith is what carried me through. Every time I wanted to give up, my faith, it was this force. I have no idea why he decided to not contact me as a child. But at some point, I have to choose to let go of the story. At some point, I have to make the decision to not hate. At some point, I have to choose love, compassion, forgiveness. If everything that I went through as a child could help one other person to heal, then all the pain and this journey is worth it.